The little paintbrush of Lily. One sunny morning, Lily found a tiny paintbrush lying under the big oak tree in her backyard. It wasn't just any paintbrush. It sparkled with colors that changed every time she blinked. Excited, Lily picked it up and waved it in the air. Suddenly, magic swirled around her, and the paintbrush whispered, "Let's paint the world together." Lily dipped the brush into her box of paints and drew a bright blue bird on the garden wall. To her surprise, the bird blinked its eyes and fluttered off the wall, singing a happy song. Lily laughed with joy. The little paintbrush had brought her drawing to life. She painted a red ball next, and it bounced around, giggling as it jumped over the flowers. With every stroke, Lily's world grew more colorful and fun. She painted a purple butterfly that danced in the air and a smiling sun that warmed everything with a golden glow. The backyard turned into a magical playground where painted friends played with Lily all day long. As the sun began to set, Lily hugged her little paintbrush tightly and whispered, "Thank you for the magic." The gentle giraffe's long neck. In the heart of the sunny savannah lived Gina, a gentle giraffe with the longest neck anyone had ever seen. Gina loved her neck because it helped her reach the juiciest leaves at the very top of the tallest trees. Every day, she would stretch her neck high into the bright blue sky, munching the greenest leaves while her friends watched in wonder. But Gina's neck was special for more than just eating. It helped her see far and wide and share adventures with everyone around her. One sunny morning, Gina's friend Momo the monkey called out, "Gina, can you help us find the rainbow flower that only blooms on the tallest hill?" Gina smiled and nodded. With her long neck, she could see far beyond the trees, spotting the colorful petals sparkling in the sunlight. She led her friends across the warm savannah, her neck guiding the way like a gentle lighthouse, lighting up the path with kindness and care. When they reached the hill, Gina bent her long neck down so little Timmy the turtle could climb up and see the beautiful flower up close. Everyone cheered as they admired the rainbow petals glowing in the sun. Gina's long neck wasn't just for eating leaves. It was a bridge that brought her friends together, helping them share special moments and big smiles. And from that day on, Gina's neck was known as the neck that connected hearts. The Crayon crew of Rachel and Ryan. One sunny afternoon, Rachel and Ryan sat at their little table, ready to color. As soon as Ryan picked up the red crayon, something magical happened. The crayons started to wiggle and giggle, jumping out of the box. The red crayon introduced himself as Red, the leader of the Crayon crew. Rachel and Ryan blinked in surprise but smiled wide because the crayons looked so friendly and fun. Together, they decided to go on a colorful adventure inside their big coloring book. The Crayon crew took Rachel and Ryan by the hand and led them into a world made of colors. The blue crayon painted a sparkling river that danced and sang as it flowed. Yellow colored the sun so bright it made everyone feel warm and happy. Green drew tall trees that swayed gently in a soft breeze. Rachel and Ryan laughed and followed the crayons through fields of blooming flowers and over fluffy hills. Every step they took, the world around them became more magical and full of surprises. Suddenly, Purple and Orange, the mischievous crayons, decided to play hide and seek. They zipped behind rainbow clouds and giggled from behind candy-colored bushes. Rachel and Ryan joined in the fun, trying to find them while splashing through puddles of paint. The crayon crew's laughter filled the air, mixing with the sounds of chirping painted birds. At the end of the game, everyone gathered together, tired but happy, and promised to keep their colorful adventure secret until the next time they picked up their crayons. The brave little Saltmarsh Sparrow's Plume. In the heart of the Saltmarsh lived a tiny sparrow named Ja. She was small but full of curiosity. Every morning, Ja sang her sweet songs and dreamed of big adventures beyond the tall grasses and shimmering waters. Though she was little, her spirit was large, and she loved to explore the soft mud and flutter among the reeds with her friends. One day, dark clouds gathered quickly above the Saltmarsh. The wind picked up, and the water began to ripple and roar. Ja's friends hurried to find shelter, but the little sparrow noticed a shimmering plume caught in a bush. It sparkled with magical colors, glowing softly even under the cloudy sky. Curious and brave, Ja gently picked up the plume, feeling a warm, happy glow inside her heart. With the magical plume in her feathers, Ja felt braver than ever. She flew through the stormy marsh, helping her friends find safe spots. She guided a little frog to a cozy leaf and showed a crab how to hide beneath a rock. The plume sparkled with every flap of her wings, lighting the way and filling the Saltmarsh with hope. When the storm finally passed, the Saltmarsh was calm and bright again. Ja's friends cheered for their brave little sparrow. She smiled, proud of her new courage and the magic plume. From that day on, Ja knew that even the smallest bird could shine brightly and help others, just by being brave and kind. The friendly piglet's Oink. In a sunny meadow where the grass tickled his tiny feet, Pippin the piglet woke up with a big, happy oink. His oink was special. It wasn't loud or scary, but warm and friendly, like a cozy hug. As the morning sun shined bright, Pippin trotted out to explore, eager to share his joyful oink with the world. The flowers swayed and the butterflies danced as the friendly piglet's oink echoed softly through the meadow. As Pippin wandered along a winding path, he met Bella the bunny, who was nibbling on a bright orange carrot. When Pippin gave his friendly oink, Bella's ears perked up and she smiled wide. "What a happy sound," she said. Together, they hopped and oinked, making music with their voices. Soon, a little duckling named Daisy waddled over, quacking a cheerful tune to join their new song. The meadow felt alive with laughter and melody. With every friendly oink, Pippin's happiness grew bigger and brighter. He and his friends played hide-and-seek behind blooming bushes and chased butterflies that twinkled like little stars. When the sun began to dip low, the animals gathered under a big tree, sharing stories and soft oinks, quacks, and hops. Pippin felt proud that his simple oink had brought so much fun and friendship to the meadow. The family road trip of Rosie and Ryan. One sunny morning, Rosie and Ryan jumped into their family car, ready for a big road trip. "Where are we going?" Rosie asked, her eyes shining with excitement. "To the magic forest," Ryan replied, holding a map. They packed their favorite snacks and waved goodbye to their house, the adventure ahead making them giggle. As they drove along, they passed fields of flowers dancing in the breeze and tall trees whispering secrets. Suddenly, a friendly rabbit hopped alongside their car. "Hello, Rosie and Ryan," said the rabbit. "Would you like to play?" The siblings laughed and cheered. "Yes." The rabbit led them to a sunny meadow where a picnic party was happening. Animals of all kinds were gathered: squirrels, birds, and even a wise old turtle. They shared sandwiches, grapes, and cookies. Rosie and Ryan laughed as they played games and danced with their new furry friends. After a day full of laughter and fun, it was time to head home. Rosie and Ryan waved goodbye to their new friends, promising to return. As they drove back, they shared stories of their adventure, feeling happy and loved. "Best road trip ever," they shouted together, dreaming of the next one. The Grateful Little Giraffe. Once upon a time in a sunny jungle, there lived a little giraffe named Jiggy. Jiggy had a long neck, big bright eyes, and a heart full of kindness. Every day, she loved to help her friends. She would reach the juiciest leaves for the hungry monkeys and pick the prettiest flowers for the shy little bird. Jiggy felt happy when she could help others. One day, Jiggy noticed that her friend Ellie the elephant looked sad. "What's wrong, Ellie?" asked Jiggy. Ellie sighed. "I lost my favorite blue ball in the river and I can't reach it." Jiggy thought for a moment and then said, "Don't worry, I'll help you." With her long neck, Jiggy stretched out and carefully grabbed the ball from the water. Ellie's eyes sparkled with joy. "Thank you, Jiggy. You're the best," she exclaimed. Jiggy felt a warm glow in her heart. Later that day, all of Jiggy's friends gathered together. The monkey, the bird, and even Ellie wanted to show their gratitude. They planned a surprise party for Jiggy to say thank you for her kindness. When Jiggy arrived at the party, she was so surprised. "Wow, you all did this for me," she gasped. Her friends shouted, "Yes, we love you, Jiggy. Thank you for always helping us." Jiggy felt so grateful. She realized that when you help others, they want to help you too. That day, Jiggy learned that gratitude makes the jungle a happier place. The Brave Little Bear. In a quiet forest, there lived a little bear named Benny. Benny was small but very curious. Every day, he played with his friends, Squeaky the squirrel, Hoppy the rabbit, and Ollie the owl. They loved to explore the forest together, chasing butterflies and picking bright flowers. Benny dreamed of big adventures, even though he was the smallest of all. He wished to be brave like the tall trees that swayed in the wind. One sunny morning, Benny and his friends decided to follow a sparkling stream deep into the forest. They laughed and splashed, but suddenly, Squeaky and Hoppy wandered too far and couldn't find the way back. Benny felt worried but remembered what Ollie had said. "Bravery is helping friends when they need you." With a big breath, Benny said, "Don't worry, I'll find you," and started his brave adventure. Benny walked carefully, listening to the sounds of the forest. He followed the chirping birds and the rustling leaves, calling out for his friends. Suddenly, he heard a soft squeak and a gentle hop nearby. They were Squeaky and Hoppy, smiling with relief. Benny hugged them tightly and said, "See, we're safe together." The friends held hands and skipped happily back toward their home, feeling braver than ever. That evening, under the twinkling stars, Benny and his friends sat by a cozy campfire. Ollie told stories about brave animals, and Benny felt proud. He had been small but very brave. From that day on, Benny knew that even little bears could have big hearts. And whenever someone needed help, Benny was always ready to shine bright, just like the stars above. The little emu's Waddle. In the wide, sunny outback, little Eddie the emu was learning to waddle. His tiny feet tapped gently on the red earth as he tried to keep up with his big brothers and sisters. "Waddle, waddle," he giggled, but his steps were a bit wobbly and funny. Eddie wondered if his waddle was special or just a little clumsy. As he moved, the leaves rustled and the birds sang a happy tune just for him. Eddie's friend, Kiki the kangaroo, hopped over with a big smile. "Come join me," she called. Eddie waddled after her as she bounced high and low. "Look," Kiki said, "your waddle is like a dance. It's fun and full of jumps and twirls." Eddie laughed and tried to bounce with Kiki, feeling the joy of moving in his own way. Suddenly, his waddle didn't seem clumsy. It was special and lively. Next, Ollie the cockatoo flew down and flapped his bright white wings. "Eddie, your waddle is like a little adventure," he chirped. "Every step you take is a story waiting to happen." Eddie's eyes sparkled as he imagined all the places his waddle could take him, through soft sand, past tall trees, and over sparkling streams. "Let's explore together," Ollie said, soaring above with a happy whistle. Just then, Dingo Dan padded up with a friendly grin. "Your waddle is strong and steady," he said. "It's perfect for exploring the outback with friends." Eddie felt proud and strong. Together, they all waddled, hopped, and fluttered through the sunlit land. Eddie's special waddle was not just his own, it was part of a wonderful adventure with friends by his side. And every step was a happy step. One Little Kitten's Big Adventure. One sunny morning, Momo the little kitten woke up feeling extra curious. She stretched her tiny paws and decided today was the perfect day for an adventure. Outside her cozy home was a big, colorful garden filled with fluttering butterflies and buzzing bees. Momo tiptoed quietly to the wooden fence and peeked through the slats. "I wonder what fun surprises are waiting for me out there," she thought, her whiskers twitching with excitement. With a little wiggle and a hop, Momo squeezed through a small gap in the fence and landed softly on the green grass. The garden was even more magical up close. She saw a tiny ladybug waving its red wings and a bumblebee humming happily near a bright yellow flower. Momo decided to say hello. "Hello, friends," she purred. The ladybug smiled and invited Momo to follow her along a winding path of colorful petals. As Momo followed the petal path, she heard cheerful chirping above. Looking up, she spotted a playful bluebird hopping from branch to branch. "Would you like to play with me?" chirped the bird. Momo nodded eagerly, and soon they were playing a gentle game of tag among the leaves and blossoms. Momo felt her heart dance with joy, making new friends in this wonderful garden world. Suddenly, Momo spotted a sparkling pond shimmering in the sunlight. Curious, she padded over and saw her reflection smiling back. Nearby, a shy snail was slowly sliding across a smooth stone. "Would you like to join me for a little rest by the water?" Momo asked gently. The snail nodded, and they sat side by side, watching dragonflies dance above the pond's surface. Momo realized that adventures are even better when shared with friends. As the sun began to set, painting the sky with pink and orange hues, Momo knew it was time to head home. She thanked her new friends with a happy purr and promised to visit again soon. Squeezing back through the fence, Momo felt proud of her big adventure. She curled up in her cozy bed, dreaming of all the wonderful friends and magical moments she had found just outside her door. Playing together with Paula and Peter. One sunny morning, Paula and Peter met in their bright backyard. Paula brought her red ball and Peter carried a small wooden kite. They smiled at each other, ready for a day full of fun. The grass was soft and green, and colorful flowers swayed gently in the breeze. "Let's play together," said Paula happily. Peter nodded, and they imagined their backyard turning into a magical land where anything could happen. First, they decided to play catch with the red ball. Paula threw the ball high into the sky, and Peter caught it with a big smile. They laughed and took turns throwing and catching, their giggles mixing with the birds' songs. Suddenly, Paula pointed to the kite and said, "Let's fly it." Peter nodded excitedly. Together, they ran across the grass, feeling the wind lift the kite higher and higher until it danced with the clouds. After flying the kite, Paula and Peter sat down in the sandbox. They built a tall, wobbly castle using colorful buckets and spades. Paula added a little flag on top, and Peter made a moat around the castle with imaginary water. "Look, our castle is strong and magical," said Paula. Peter agreed, imagining tiny knights guarding their creation. They played quietly, proud of their teamwork and the happy world they'd built together. As the sun began to set, Paula and Peter climbed onto the wooden swing hanging from the tree. They swung gently back and forth, feeling the cool evening breeze. "Today was the best day ever," said Peter. Paula smiled and said, "Playing together makes everything more fun." They looked at the pink sky and dreamed of tomorrow's adventures, knowing they would always have each other to play with. The Little Finch's Beak. Fizz the little finch woke up to a sunny morning in the big forest. He looked at his reflection in a shiny puddle and noticed something different. His beak was longer and curvier than his friends. Fizz wondered if his beak could do special things. With a cheerful chirp, he decided to find out what made his beak so unique. Fizz flew to the berry bush where his friends loved to eat red, juicy berries. But the berries were hidden behind thick leaves, and the other birds couldn't reach them easily. Using his special beak, Fizz gently moved the leaves aside and picked the berries with ease. All the birds cheered, and Fizz felt proud and happy. Next, Fizz met Sammy the squirrel, who was trying to open a tiny acorn but couldn't crack it. Fizz tried using his beak to gently tap the acorn and crack. The acorn split open. Sammy clapped his paws in delight and shared the acorn's seeds with Fizz. They laughed and played together under the tall trees. As the sun began to set, Fizz flew back to his flock, feeling happy and proud. His beak was not just different, it was special. It helped him find tasty berries, make new friends, and have wonderful adventures. All the birds gathered around, listening to Fizz's stories about his big day. The Jingle of Jenny and Jake. In a jingle-jangle forest where the sun peeked through the leaves, lived two playful kittens named Jenny and Jake. Jenny had a soft, fluffy coat as white as snow, and Jake was a bright orange bundle of energy. They wore shiny bells around their necks that jingled and jangled with every leap and bound. "Let's explore today," squeaked Jenny with excitement. Jake's eyes sparkled. "Yes, let's find the magic of music." Together, they scampered off, their bells ringing cheerfully in the air. As they wandered deeper into the forest, they stumbled upon a gathering of animals. There were rabbits tapping their feet, birds chirping sweet melodies, and even a wise old tortoise playing a tiny drum. The kittens watched in awe. "Can we join?" asked Jake, his bell ringing with hope. The animals smiled and nodded. "Of course, music is for everyone," said the tortoise. Jenny and Jake joined in, their bells adding a magical jingle to the rhythm. With every jingle and every jangle, the forest became alive. Flowers danced, and even the trees swayed to the music. Jenny and Jake giggled as they twirled and spun, their bells ringing like a joyful song. Suddenly, the wise tortoise said, "Let's make a special tune together." All the animals agreed, and they created the most beautiful melody, echoing through the forest. It was a tune of laughter, friendship, and love, and it was all thanks to the magical jingle of Jenny and Jake. The friendly eagles soar. High above the tall, green trees, Eddie the eagle loved to soar through the bright blue sky. His big wings spread wide as he glided with the warm breeze. Eddie wasn't just strong and fast, he was the friendliest eagle in the whole forest. Every day, he flew down to say hello to the animals below, sharing smiles and happy chirps. The forest was a place full of laughter and friendship, and Eddie loved being part of it all. One sunny morning, Eddie spotted a little white bunny hopping nervously near a big oak tree. The bunny's nose twitched as he looked all around, clearly lost. Eddie swooped down gently and asked, "Hello, little one. Are you okay?" The bunny's eyes brightened. "I'm lost and can't find my home," he said softly. Eddie flapped his wings with a smile. "Don't worry, I'll help you find your way." Together, they began their adventure through the forest. As they traveled, Eddie and the bunny met playful squirrels darting between branches and a cheerful bluebird singing a happy tune. "Follow us," the squirrels chattered, leading the way through twisting tree paths. The bluebird flew overhead, singing songs that made the journey feel like a fun game. Eddie's kind heart and the new friends they met made the bunny feel safe and happy, even when the forest seemed big and confusing. Finally, Eddie spotted a cozy burrow nestled beside a gentle stream. "This must be your home," he said with a happy flap of his wings. The bunny's face lit up with joy as he hopped quickly toward the burrow, where his family waited with open arms. Eddie felt proud and happy to have helped his new friend. As the sun began to set, Eddie soared high into the sky once more, knowing that kindness and friendship made every flight even more special. The running relay of Rachel and Ryan. One sunny morning, Rachel and Ryan woke up with a spark of excitement. "Let's have a running relay in our backyard," Rachel exclaimed, bouncing on her toes. Ryan nodded enthusiastically, his blue cap bobbing. They quickly set up a fun course with colorful cones, hula hoops, and a big fluffy teddy bear waiting at the finish line. The backyard was ready for adventure. As they lined up at the starting line, Rachel held a small baton made of colorful paper. "Ready, set, go," she shouted, and off they ran. Rachel dashed through the cones, giggling as she leaped over the hula hoop. Ryan cheered her on, waving his arms. "You can do it, Rachel," he called, his voice full of encouragement. Then it was Ryan's turn. He grabbed the baton from Rachel and took off, zigzagging through the cones. "Whoosh!" he exclaimed, pretending to be a speedy rocket. He jumped through the hula hoop and dashed towards the teddy bear. With a big smile, he reached the finish line and shouted, "I did it." At the end of the race, Rachel and Ryan hugged each other tightly. "We did it together," they laughed, their faces shining with happiness. The backyard was filled with their giggles as they celebrated their victory. They realized that the best part of the relay wasn't just winning, but having fun together and cheering each other on. The friendly purple finch's plume. One bright morning, Pippa the purple finch fluttered happily through the forest. Her feathers shone with a gentle purple glow, but today something special happened. As she hopped onto a soft, mossy branch, she found a beautiful purple plume shimmering under the sunlight. Curious and excited, Pippa picked up the plume and felt a warm, magical tingle spread through her wings. Pippa quickly noticed that when she held the plume, her feathers sparkled brighter and even changed colors like a rainbow. She chirped happily and flew down to show her friends. The playful squirrel, the gentle rabbit, and the fluttering butterfly gathered around, their eyes shining with wonder. Together, they imagined all the fun they could have with the magical plume's sparkle. With a gentle puff of air, Pippa sprinkled some of the plume's sparkle over the forest floor. Instantly, little flowers began to twinkle like stars, and the trees seemed to hum a happy song. All the animals clapped and laughed, feeling the magic of friendship and fun spreading everywhere. From that day on, Pippa and her friends knew that sharing kindness made their world shine brighter than any plume could. The Little Booby's Beak. Little Booby was a tiny seabird who lived on a sunny island by the sea. But there was something very special about Little Booby, His beak was not just ordinary. It changed colors depending on how he felt. When he was happy, it shone bright yellow like the sun. When he was curious, it shimmered blue like the ocean. And when he was shy, it turned a soft, gentle pink. Every day was a new adventure because little Booby's beak told a colorful story. One morning, little Booby felt curious as he saw a shiny shell on the beach. His beak turned a sparkling blue as he hopped closer to take a look. Just then, a friendly crab waved hello. Little Booby's beak changed to a bright green, showing he was a little excited. The crab showed him how to find shiny shells and told stories about the sea. Little Booby was so happy to meet a new friend who loved adventures as much as he did. As the sun began to set, little Booby felt a little shy because he wanted to join a game with the playful seal and the jumping fish. His beak turned soft pink, the color of a quiet evening sky. But then he took a deep breath and decided to be brave. His beak glowed bright orange, shining like a tiny flame. With a happy chirp, he joined the fun, splashing and playing until the stars twinkled above. Little Booby learned that being brave and kind made his colors shine even brighter. Max and the Magic Paintbrush. Once upon a sunny day, in a cheerful little town, there lived a curious boy named Max. Max loved to draw. With his bright crayons and colorful markers, he filled pages with castles, animals, and happy faces. But one day, he found a magic paintbrush lying under a big, shady tree. It sparkled in the sunlight. Max picked it up, and it felt warm in his hand. "What can I make with you?" he wondered, his eyes twinkling with excitement. With a swish and a swoosh, Max painted a friendly dragon. To his surprise, the dragon flapped its colorful wings and soared into the sky. "Wee!" shouted the dragon, doing loops and twirls. Max laughed and painted a unicorn next. "Hello, Max!" The unicorn neighed, prancing around him. Together, they danced in the field, painting flowers that bloomed with every step they took. Then Max had an idea. "Let's paint a sunny day." He dipped the brush in bright yellow and with a swoosh painted a smiling sun. The sun winked and said, "Thank you, Max. I'll shine bright for everyone." The sky turned a lovely blue and fluffy white clouds danced around. Max felt happy, knowing he made the world brighter with his magic paintbrush. But soon, it was time for Max to return home. "Thank you, my friends," he said to the dragon and unicorn. They all hugged and promised to meet again. With a swish of the magic paintbrush, Max painted a door that opened to his backyard. As he stepped through, he knew that with his magic paintbrush, every day could be an adventure filled with colors and joy. The Little Nelson Sparrow's Crest. In a sunny, sparkling forest lived a little sparrow named Nelson. Nelson was small and fluffy, with bright eyes that twinkled with curiosity. He loved to sing and play, but there was one thing that made him feel a little sad. Nelson wished he had a colorful crest like the other birds in the forest. "If only I had a rainbow crest, I would be the happiest sparrow ever," he chirped one day. One sunny morning, Nelson decided to go on an adventure to find the most beautiful colors. He flapped his tiny wings excitedly and flew to see his friends. "Bella, "Benny, let's go find the colors of the rainbow," he called. Bella the butterfly fluttered her colorful wings, and Benny the bunny hopped along, eager to help their friend. They traveled to the sparkling river where the water danced with shades of blue and green. "Look at those lovely colors," chirped Bella. Next, they went to the golden meadow where the sunflowers swayed in the gentle breeze. "These yellows are so bright," laughed Benny. Nelson's heart filled with joy as he saw all the beautiful colors. As they explored, Nelson realized something wonderful. "I have the colors of the forest inside me," he exclaimed, his heart fluttering with happiness. He didn't need a rainbow crest to be special. His friends loved him just the way he was. With newfound confidence, Nelson sang a joyful song, and the forest echoed back with happiness. From that day on, Nelson proudly showed off his little head without a colorful crest. He sang his songs, played with his friends, and reminded everyone that it's not about how you look, but the love you share that makes you shine the brightest. And in his heart, he carried the colors of friendship wherever he flew. The Subway of Surprises. Once upon a time, in a bright and bustling city, there lived a little bunny named Benny. Benny loved to hop around and explore, but one day, he found a shiny subway entrance that sparkled like magic. "What wonders await me down there?" he wondered with excitement. Benny hopped into the subway, and as the doors closed, a funny thing happened. The subway train was filled with dancing flowers, swaying to a happy tune. "Welcome, Benny," they sang. "Join us for a ride of surprises." Benny couldn't help but giggle and dance along. Suddenly, the train stopped at the next station. Benny peeked out the window and saw a group of turtles wearing hats, singing a funny song. "Come join us, Benny," they called. Benny hopped out and sang along, feeling the joy of friendship all around him. After the turtles, Benny hopped back on the train, and they zoomed to the next stop. This time, they found a forest filled with playful birds that were painting the trees with bright colors. "Would you like to help us?" they chirped. Benny loved painting and jumped right in. Finally, as the sun began to set, the subway train brought Benny back to his cozy home. He waved goodbye to his new friends and smiled, thinking of all the wonderful surprises he had found. Benny knew he could always return to the subway of surprises anytime he wanted. Olivia's Ocean Quest. Once upon a time, in a sunny little town, there lived a girl named Olivia. Olivia loved the ocean. One bright morning, she put on her favorite swimsuit, grabbed her snorkel, and ran to the beach. Today, she was going on an ocean quest. "What wonders will I find?" She wondered with excitement as she dipped her toes in the warm water. As Olivia swam deeper, she spotted a friendly dolphin leaping through the waves. "Hello there," she called out. The dolphin, named Dash, twirled around and said, "Would you like to join me on a treasure hunt?" Olivia clapped her hands with glee and nodded. Together, they dove down into the blue water where they saw sparkly shells and dancing fish. Suddenly, they came across a wise old turtle named Tilly. Tilly was resting on a rock, her shell covered in soft seaweed. "Hello, young adventurers," she greeted. Olivia asked, "Can you tell us about the treasures of the ocean?" Tilly smiled and shared stories of coral reefs, sea stars, and the importance of keeping the ocean clean. Olivia listened intently, her eyes wide with wonder. After learning about the ocean's treasures, Olivia, Dash, and Tilly spotted a shimmering cave in the distance. "Let's explore," Olivia exclaimed. They swam inside and found the walls sparkling with glittering gems. Olivia giggled, realizing that the true treasure was the friends she had made and the stories they shared. Together, they danced and played until the sun began to set. As the sun set, it was time for Olivia to return home. She waved goodbye to Dash and Tilly, promising to return soon. With her heart full of joy and a mind buzzing with stories, Olivia swam back to the shore, knowing that every adventure holds new friends and magical moments. And from that day on, she knew the ocean was her special place. The Happy Hen's Cluck. On a sunny morning at Sunny Farm, Happy Hen woke up feeling extra cheerful. She stretched her wings wide and gave a big, bright cluck that echoed across the farmyard. Her cluck was special. It was full of happiness and made everyone's day a little brighter. As the other animals heard her joyful sound, they began to smile and wag their tails and hooves. Happy Hen loved sharing her happy cluck with all her friends. Today, Happy Hen noticed that little duckling looked a bit sad because she had lost her favorite shiny pebble. Feeling helpful, Happy Hen clucked a sweet, happy tune to cheer little duckling up. Her cluck sounded like a happy song that made everyone want to dance and play. Soon, the animals all joined in, singing and searching together. Before long, they found the shiny pebble near a patch of daisies. With the pebble found, Happy Hen clucked even louder, celebrating their success. The farmyard was filled with laughter and happy clucks. Even the shy sheep joined in the fun, shaking her fluffy wool in delight. Happy Hen realized that her cluck wasn't just a sound. It was a way to bring everyone together, spread kindness, and make the farm a happier place for all her friends. The Friendly Seahorse's Tail. Deep beneath the sparkling waves lived Sammy, a friendly little seahorse with the most special tail in the whole ocean. His tail wasn't just colorful, it could swirl and sparkle like magic. Every day, Sammy loved to explore the coral gardens and say hello to his ocean friends, always ready to help with a smile and a twirl of his tail. One sunny morning, Sammy heard a tiny cry. It was Tina the tiny turtle, stuck in a tangle of seaweed. Sammy swished his magical tail, and with a gentle whirl, the seaweed untwisted and freed Tina. "Thank you, Sammy," Tina smiled, her eyes shining with joy. Sammy felt happy knowing his tail could help friends in need. As the day went on, Sammy's tail helped more friends. He painted pictures in the sand for shy starfish and made bubbly dances for giggling clownfish. Everywhere Sammy went, his magical tail brought laughter and light, making the ocean a happier place for everyone beneath the waves. When night came, Sammy's tail glowed softly, lighting up the dark ocean like a tiny lantern. His friends gathered around, feeling safe and warm under the twinkling light. Sammy realized that being kind and using his special tail made the whole ocean shine brighter, and that was the greatest magic of all. Spring is here with Lily and Leah. One sunny morning, Lily the bunny woke up with a big stretch. "Hooray, spring is here," she squeaked, hopping out of her cozy burrow. She dashed to find her best friend, Leo the little bear. "Leo, come see all the beautiful flowers." Leo lumbered over, his eyes sparkling. "Wow, Lily, look at all the colors," he exclaimed. The meadow was a rainbow of tulips, daisies, and daisies dancing in the gentle breeze. The two friends laughed as they rolled in the grass, feeling the warm sun on their fur. Suddenly, a flurry of butterflies fluttered by. "Look, Leo, they want to play," shouted Lily. The butterflies danced around them, and the two friends tried to catch them. They giggled and twirled as the butterflies led them on a merry chase across the meadow. At the end of their adventure, Lily and Leo flopped down on the soft grass, tired but happy. "Spring is the best," said Leo, panting. "Yes, I love playing with you, Leo," replied Lily. Together, they watched the butterflies as they danced in the sunset, knowing this was just the beginning of their springtime fun. The friendly cardinal's crest. In a sunny forest, there lived a little red cardinal named Ruby. Ruby wasn't just any bird. On top of her head was a special crest that sparkled with a soft golden light. Every time Ruby helped a friend or shared a smile, her crest would glow even brighter. One morning, Ruby woke up feeling extra happy. She fluttered her wings and sang a sweet song, ready for a new day of adventures and kindness. As Ruby flew through the forest, she saw her friend Sammy the squirrel trying to reach a tasty acorn on a high branch. Ruby chirped, "I can help." She flapped her wings and gently nudged the acorn down. Sammy smiled and thanked Ruby, and right away, Ruby's crest sparkled a little brighter. Helping friends made her feel warm inside, and she loved seeing smiles all around. Next, Ruby spotted Bella the bunny hopping sadly near the bushes. Bella had lost her way back home. Ruby fluttered down beside her and said softly, "Don't worry, I'll help you find your way." Together, they walked through the forest, Ruby's crest glowing warmly as they followed the sunbeams. Soon, Bella saw her cozy burrow and hopped inside happily. Ruby's heart felt full of joy. Finally, Ruby came across Timmy, the tiny turtle who was stuck on a little hill. Timmy wanted to join the others but couldn't climb down. Ruby thought hard and then had a great idea. She asked her friend Sammy to help. Together, they made a soft leaf ramp for Timmy, who carefully slid down with a happy smile. Ruby's crest shone the brightest yet, because helping friends was the greatest magic of all. As the sun began to set, Ruby sat on her favorite tree branch, her golden crest glowing softly in the twilight. She looked around at her friends, Sammy, Bella, and Timmy, all happy and safe. Ruby knew that her special crest wasn't just magic, it was the kindness and friendship she shared every day. And with a happy chirp, She promised to keep spreading joy wherever she flew. The Little Chickens Peep. Once upon a time on a sunny farm, there lived a little chicken named Peep. She was bright yellow with fluffy feathers and a cheerful heart. But one day, Peep woke up and noticed something strange. Her chirp was missing. Where did my Peep go? She wondered, flapping her tiny wings. Determined to find her voice, Peep set off on an adventure across the farm. As Peep waddled through the tall grass, she met a friendly cow named Clara. "Moo, what's the matter, little Peep?" asked Clara. "I've lost my chirp," Peep replied sadly. Clara smiled and said, "Don't worry, let's look for it together." With a happy moo, Clara joined Peep on her quest. Next, they came across a playful pig named Percy, rolling in the mud. "Oink, are you looking for something?" he asked, splashing mud everywhere. Peep explained her lost chirp, and Percy squealed, "Let's find it, I can help." With a joyful oink, Percy joined the adventure, making Peep giggle. Finally, they met a wise old sheep named Sophie, who was taking a nap under a shady tree. "Bah, what's all the fuss?" she asked, yawning. Peep shared her story, and Sophie said, "Sometimes the best way to find something is to believe in yourself. Let's sing together." So Peep took a deep breath and started to sing with her friends. With every note, she felt her chirp coming back. And then, with a joyful peep, her voice returned. Peep danced around with Clara, Percy, and Sophie, filled with happiness. "Thank you, friends, I found my chirp," she chirped with glee. From that day on, Peep knew that with friends by her side, she could always find her way. Every morning, she would wake up and peep with all her heart, reminding everyone that believing in yourself is the magic that makes everything possible. The Tasty Travels of Tom and Tina. One sunny day, Tom and Tina, best friends forever, found a sparkling map in the park. It wasn't an ordinary map. It was the map of Tasty Travels. With a twinkle in their eyes, they decided to follow it to a land filled with yummy surprises. Off they went, holding hands, ready for an adventure like no other. Suddenly, they stepped into a jelly bean jungle. The trees were tall and made of colorful jelly beans, swaying in the gentle breeze. "Look at those giant gummy bears," Tina giggled. The gummy bears danced around them, inviting them to join the fun. Tom and Tina laughed and twirled, picking jelly beans from the trees and munching away. Next, they found a sparkling chocolate river, flowing smoothly like a sweet dream. "Let's make chocolate boats," Tom exclaimed. They quickly gathered leaves and twigs, crafting little boats to race down the river. With a splash and a giggle, their boats zoomed away, floating happily on the chocolate waves. As the sun began to set, they reached the final stop on their tasty travels, a magical fruit meadow. The grass was soft and the flowers were made of strawberries and blueberries. "Let's have a picnic," Tina suggested. They laid out a blanket and feasted on the delicious fruits, feeling happy and full of joy. As night fell, the stars twinkled like sugar sprinkles in the sky. Tom and Tina, with their bellies full and hearts happy, knew it was time to go home. "What a wonderful adventure," they said together. Hand in hand, they walked back, dreaming of the next tasty travel they would take. The happy little cloud. High up in the big, blue sky lived a happy little cloud named Puffy. Puffy was soft and white and loved to float around all day, waving hello to the birds and butterflies. Whenever Puffy moved, a gentle breeze followed, making the flowers dance and the leaves twirl. Puffy's favorite thing was to smile at everyone below and share the sunshine's warmth. Every morning, Puffy woke up feeling excited to find new friends and make the sky a joyful place. One day, Puffy noticed something magical. When the sun peaked just right, Puffy could create a beautiful rainbow. Puffy stretched wide and shimmered with all the colors: red, orange, yellow, green, blue, and purple. The animals below looked up and laughed with joy, pointing at the bright colors in the sky. Puffy felt so proud and happy to share this wonderful gift. From that moment, Puffy decided to make rainbows every day to spread smiles everywhere. Sometimes, Puffy wanted to help the plants and animals thirsty for a drink. So Puffy would puff up big and soft, then sprinkle tiny, gentle raindrops all around. The raindrops tickled the leaves and made little puddles for the frogs to splash in. Puffy giggled as the raindrops danced down softly, knowing everyone was happy and refreshed. After the rain, Puffy would always shine bright again, painting rainbows for all to see. Puffy loved being a happy little cloud who brought fun, colors, and kindness wherever it floated. Sammy's superhero cape. One sunny morning, Sammy found a bright red cape fluttering on a tree branch in his backyard. It sparkled with tiny stars and felt soft like a cloud. When Sammy put on the cape, he felt a warm, happy tingle inside. "Wow, I must be a superhero now," he giggled. With his cape flying behind him, Sammy decided to help everyone he could today. First, Sammy spotted his friend Mia trying to reach her kite stuck high in a tree. Flapping his cape, Sammy jumped up like a superhero and gently grabbed the kite string. "Here you go, Mia," he said with a big smile. Mia cheered, waving her kite high in the sky. Sammy felt proud and happy, knowing his cape helped bring joy. Next, Sammy heard a soft meow. A tiny kitten was stuck on a tall fence, looking scared. Sammy gently wrapped his cape around the kitten and carried it down safely. "Don't worry, little one," Sammy whispered. The kitten purred happily, rubbing its head against Sammy's cheek. Sammy's heart felt even bigger with kindness. As the afternoon sun shone warm, Sammy saw his friends gathered in the park, feeling a little sad because the big slide was broken. Sammy had an idea. With a superhero swoosh, he used his cape to make a colorful blanket fort nearby, turning the day into a fun adventure. Everyone laughed and played, forgetting all about the broken slide. When the sun began to set, Sammy took off his cape and folded it carefully. "Today was the best superhero day ever," he said happily. Even without his cape, Sammy knew that being kind and helping friends made him a real superhero every day. With a big yawn, he smiled, ready for sweet dreams and new adventures tomorrow. The Pencil Pals of Paula and Peter. Once upon a time, in a cozy little room, lived two best friends named Paula and Peter. They loved to draw and color together. One sunny afternoon, they gathered all their crayons and colored pencils, ready to create something magical. "Let's draw our own pencil pals," said Paula with a twinkle in her eye. Peter nodded excitedly, and they both started doodling away, their imaginations dancing like butterflies in the air. As they finished their drawings, something amazing happened. The crayons began to shimmer and shake, and out popped their pencil pals. There was a friendly dragon with sparkling scales, a bouncy elephant with colorful ears, and a playful frog that hopped around giggling. "Hooray!" shouted Peter. "Let's go on an adventure." The pencil pals cheered, and together they all jumped into the drawings, landing in a world filled with candy mountains and rainbow rivers. In this magical land, they played hide and seek behind the candy trees and splashed in the rainbow river. The dragon flew high above, the elephant trumpeted happily, and the frog made funny faces that made everyone laugh. Paula and Peter felt so lucky to have such wonderful friends. They danced and sang, creating their own joyful tunes. But soon, it was time to return home. "We'll be back," promised Paula, waving goodbye to their new pals. Back in their cozy room, Paula and Peter looked at their drawings. "What an adventure," said Peter with a big smile. "Let's draw more tomorrow." Paula nodded, her eyes shining with dreams of new pencil pals. And so, they promised to create more amazing adventures together, because with a little imagination, every day could be magical. And who knows, maybe their pencil pals would come back again.